Pivot Cycles, I commend you on your impeccable timing. It's port to port race week. Yes, that fantastic 4-day stage race that takes place in the Hunter Valley just north of Sydney. And I was a little bit stuffed this year, both in terms of my extremely lackluster training, but also because I hadn't sorted out which bike I was going to ride for the event. Just in the nick of time arrives this bike, the brand new Pivot Mach 4 SL. This is a completely fresh bike for Pivot and it looks bloody fantastic. It is a race bike, 100 mils of travel out back. This one has 120 mils up front, although they do a World Cup version of this bike that comes with a 100 mil fork. This frame set is filthy light. Pivot managed to shave 300 grams off this bike's predecessor, the 429 SL, and this frame set weighs 1,845 grams in a size medium. It weighs in under 11 kilos. This is 10.9 on my Park Tools Dream Crusher. And that is very impressive considering it comes with a 34 fork and a full travel dropper post. It looks very different to most of the pivots that we've seen of late. The shock orientation is vertical rather than horizontal, and it's very slender through the rear end, where traditionally pivots are pretty chunky out back. What else is cool about this bike? Well, it has the new Fox Live Valve suspension system, which is an electronically controlled damping system for your fork and your shock. If you haven't seen our previous content about this stuff, do yourself a favor, go have a look on our YouTube channel or on the site and do a bit of reading about it, because it is very, very cool. Pivot were one of the brands that were very involved with Fox in developing the live valve system, and that's certainly reflected in how cleanly it is all integrated into the bike. You can barely see the sensor that's down near the rear axle. The battery placement is perfect, and the wiring is all very neat. It's incredibly nicely done. In essence, it automatically adjusts the compression settings on your fork and your shock in response to the terrain that you're riding and whether or not you're on an incline or a descent. So very smart stuff, and for this type of application over a 4-day race, it makes a hell of a lot of sense. I don't want to have to be thinking about flicking lockout levers or adjusting compression settings throughout the race. I just want to be able to ride the bike and do my best not to vomit. So having a bike that is going to automatically stiffen up my fork and stiffen up my shock in response to smoother terrain or when I'm on a climb, and then open things up when I start hitting rougher terrain or when I start bombing descents, and give me full smooth travel is going to be a real blessing, I think. This bike also has the new Shimano XTR 12-speed group set, which is rare as hen's teeth, thanks to a factory burning down in Japan. Nice one. It is really great stuff. It's using a 10 to 51 cassette out back, which is paired to a 34 tooth chainring up front, which I think is very smart. On a bike like this, at this weight and with this kind of efficiency, you don't need a tiny little chainring. A 34 tooth will suit me just fine, I think. It also has the Fox 34 step cast fork. 120 mils of travel. It's nice and stiff because you've still got the 34 mil legs, but the chassis has a lot of extra weight shaved out of it by reducing material down near the dropouts. So I think it's the perfect choice for this style of bike. Really looking forward to riding this bike. I love Pivot bikes. They've always been one of my favourite brands. I love their attention to detail. I love their zero compromise approach. I love the way that their DW Link suspension always works so damn well, and I love the fact that the frames are always nice and stiff and go where I want them to. So hopefully this bike lives up to all of those hallmarks of Pivot cycles that have always made me so enamoured with them. We're going to find out. I'm going to have 4 days of riding to get well and truly acquainted with this bike up there in the Hunter Valley. Anyhow, we'll see you out there. I'm going to be bringing you a full review on this bike once the racing is done. I think I'm going to have plenty to say about this very exciting new bike from Pivot. So, see you there.